Jeremy.
Gate down on this one, guys. Our 65, 10,
Nice
and
job.
11. And the Stasic Hole Shot Award going to go this time.
Man, that's delicious.
Is it?
Sorry, I do enjoy this. I've had it every morning. He gave me 3 packages. I've had it every single morning of the Hydrate. HYDR 8, right? Hydra.
Dane Pappas out of Livermore, California, the 65cc 10 and 11-year-old Hole Shot Award winner here in Moto 3. Riding that number 35 machine. Coming into this one with a 27 and a 21 finish in the first 2 motos. He's brought to you by CMYK, Modesto Gas, and Dunlop. And, of course, Mom and Pops.
Yeah, everybody is that wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Sponsored by Dad's Wallet. So, Jackie, the Junkman Legs, you're up here with us again for just a couple more motos before we sign off. 65, 10 to 11s, then they got to jump on the big bikes, man. Do you remember that when you were on the 65 and how much bigger everything felt?
Oh, most definitely. It makes a world of difference moving on up, the bigger wheelbase.
You're able to jump
power.
stuff, turns a little better, the bumps don't seem quite as big maybe.
Yes, sir.
I remember when I jumped from an 80 to that PE 450.
The PE 450.
500, maybe the 500.
Really?
What was it?
Did they make them?
Yeah, they made, I think a PE 500, I think is what it was. I did try riding one of those.
I jumped from the dangerously potent KD 80 and then moved right to the KE 125. So a lot of power between those 2 machines there. The KD, the sissiest of them all, of the Kawasaki's. And then the KE says, I'll see you that, and I'll raise you this sissy motorcycle. There were no girls ever picked up on a KE 125 by me anyway. But green flag is out. Let's say hello to our leaders in the 65s, 10 to 11s. That's a true story. Maddox Timmerman.
Yeah.
Hey, he's in the hunt. You said he's in the mix here.
Yeah, he went 1 and 5, and like I said, there's a lot of different numbers in here, so that should put him pretty close to, and it does, a 151.
Yeah.
Puts him in control of the championship.
Oh, but Nolan Ford,
yeah.
And he can't do much more. Ford is in second. He needs more points. He needs to make another pass, and he needs Timmerman to go backwards.
So
2 points separating those guys, which means 2 riders he needs to pass, does Ford. But
well,
he can't
if
do
he
it
gets around him, that's 1, and
then Timmerman would have to get passed by Bosher.
Yeah.
Bosher's been involved in a battle like this, similar earlier in the morning. He was right there with those guys in the championship hunt. There's your leaders going into the 10 Commandments, Rodney Tomlin.
So actually, I'm thinking that just passing him would win the championship. It should tie him up, and then the best finish in the 3rd moto would.
He would drop down to 8. He would get 8. You're right. Nolan Ford needs to make the pass on Maddox Timmerman if he wants his championship. You're right, Rodney.
Thank you very much.
You are 100% right. The only time I've ever said that.
Thank you. Thank you. I can leave now?
You can. Did you hear me just divulge or just drip that Arma straight out of here right on Mike?
Here we go. Things heating up now for the 2nd place ride of Nolan Ford as he is hoping and looking to lay chase to your early leader there, Maddox Timmerman.
He is doing it.
Yeah, Timmerman had a 3.5-second lead at the end of that first lap.
Not anymore. He may have already made the pass because Ford is on a KTM, Timmerman's on a Husqvarna.
I think that was Timmerman that just went by. Here's Ford coming by now, if I'm not mistaken, with Jackson Vick right behind him.
Okay, so he's just opened it up a little bit more than is what you're saying.
That's what I'm thinking, yes. Absolutely. And there is your leader, Timmerman, making his way through the...
Easy to pick that out, the red gear white bike. And then there is Ford on the Chevy 65 that Chevy jumped in and sponsoring Ford.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer.
Now let's give him credit. I'm sure his sponsor would love to know that is a KTM, folks. Parents probably went with the all-white ensemble just so they can pick him out. When there's 41 of these kids, you got to do something to differentiate yourself from everybody else so mom and dad can figure out where you are.
It also helps the announcers as well.
Yes, Timmerman with the all-red gear. Easy to pick him out as he comes by the announcer's tower. He's already opened it up to 7.4 seconds, Jackie Legs.
Wow.
Could you run that pace back when you were that age?
I don't know that I could run around the track one time, let alone run any of these paces.
Right.
as we heard Mike Brown talking about earlier, how rough it is, how this is different than anything he's ever rode. He's been a pro for a long time.
Yeah, when they say that, my ears perk up. And Jackson Vick,
Yeah, I think
Rodney,
he's
you're
got him
seeing
set
it.
up. I think he's got him set up. This right here, the momentum might carry him through. Man, what a good square off coming in.
They're in stereo
to
now,
the Ten
double-double.
Commandments, yeah.
Not going to be quite enough. Had to go super wide. So Ford for the moment, holding on to that number 2 spot. Maddox Timmerman doing exactly what he needs to do with that 151. I wonder at the end of that moto,
Wow.
did he think he had a shot at winning this? And there goes Vic.
Oh, do you see how he slung shot out of that turn on the inside? I don't think he lifted going in. He went right through it, full throttle, and shot right out of there to take over that number 2 spot.
Well, that is impressive. We are watching Jackson Vick as he's gotten into the number 2 spot, got around the number 44 KTM. His new boss, Daniel Blair, over there watching, checking all these kids out. Blair taking over the Orange Brigade team slot as Nate Ramsey moves up a spot. So there's the 70, Vic. And Ford falling off just a bit. Timothy Scott is 4th, Travis Schneider 5th. Chase Dashiell is 6th, Brody Moss 7th, Elliott Bolsher 8th, Brayton Craiglow 9th. Cash Hawkyard rounds out your top 10.
And our leader, Maddox Timmerman, is going to have the fastest lap of the race with a 2:14.0.
And that's early in the race. He'll probably drop that again as he's dropping the hammer. He's already flown past us here in the announcer's tower. And he's on to lap number 3 at 2:14.8.
Yeah, just looking down through the ages, you know, we talk about this class, and obviously, you know, the best of the best making it here, and some of the older kids, all these kids are 10 or 11 and 12, I should say. Obviously, AMA 11 years old. Only 2 riders out there age 10 right now, so they've got a little more time left in this class when you look at the big. So we could be seeing these guys for the next few years. Brayton Craiglow, the number 29, who was
the top 10.
Yeah, actually he's 14th right now, but was running in a top 10 spot. Coming into this one, I think he was looking at a top 10 overall. And then the other rider that's just 10 years old, let's see, I had him. Yeah, there he is. He finished 11th and 6th. Gage Brown, I'm not sure where he is here in this moto right here. He's running 17th in this moto.
So those guys they'll go up to the front of the class next year.
Yeah, they could be the cream of the crop next year.
Yeah, as everybody ages out of this class, they will be left to fight it out. They'll be the seniors dunking the heads of the freshmen in the toilets when they all return to the ranch to school, if you will.
And at least 2 years from now for sure, because like I said, you know, there's a lot of 11-year-olds on there too that could make their return. But this is an age too where a lot of these riders are starting to grow a little quicker.
Sure.
And they might go ahead and have to go to the 80s just on sheer size alone.
A couple of years at this age is huge.
It is.
In the makeup of a kid mentally and physically.
And Travis Snyder able to overtake Timothy Scott for the 4th place position. Timothy Scott and Nolan Ford were battling for 3rd, and Snyder was able to take advantage of that, put himself in the 4th position.
And pushes Ford back another spot. So Ford came to this in the hunt with 4.33 scores, slowly slipping away the championship. But how old is Ford on that number 44 machine? Is he one of our 11-year-olds?
Yes. So, you know, he's going to be one to be watching for next year, too, if he remains in this class.
You know, usually, this Ryder Ellis moved off of the 65. Kawasaki usually has one rock star guy, a Monster Energy guy, if you will. But they'll put one of their top flight kids on a 65, and I'm not seeing a KX65. This might be the first time in a long time. And we've seen Ryder D win a title on one of these. AC was winning on these. Jet Reynolds winning on these. Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart. The bloodline of that KX 60-65 runs deep.
It does. Yes, it does.
Very competitive class. All the OEMs now, for the most part, making a 65. It was a Kawasaki-dominated class. Yamaha actually made one before, the YZ60. Then Suzuki had the metal gas tank RM60. Kawasaki then, I believe in 83, debuted their 60. And that pretty much put the Yamaha and Suzuki out of business. They took over for all the way until the KTMs of the late 90s, right? 65, something like that, in the late 90s. And then KTM was the only game in town, and Cobra decided to make one. Yamaha just came out with theirs. Husqvarna jumped in, gas. Now we've got a whole slew of little 60s and 65s. They are 65s. I'm dating myself, calling them the 60. It was once the 60, 80, the 100 class, the 125, 250s.
That was a hard transition for me. I'm not going to lie.
What's that?
Going from 60s to 65,
80s
to 85.
Yeah, right.
Just saying it anyway.
Yeah, it went hard because you never rode them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Well, I rode them around the farm, but I never raced them. And it's a world difference.
Wow, no doubt.
And on the screen, we're going to be looking at the 43 of Timothy Scott.
He's got Ford as well, hasn't he?
He does, yes. Getting right in his sights.
That's Ford behind him. And we've got 3 other riders now closing in. Ford holding on for dear life. There is our leader. Got 9 more minutes to go. Can he keep it together? He knows he wants to go watch some YouTube. He wants to go see some Hayden Deegan YouTube videos. Going to watch a kid unbox a toy and play with it. Maybe some guy play a video game, some Minecraft. The drive home will be fun for this kid. Maddox Timmerman, he's got an ice cream in his future. I hope the ice cream man hangs around till the end of the event, because you know how many kids want that. All right, you can go get the ice cream. Like when you play a game of baseball, you go to Dairy Queen at the end of the game. Hopefully the ice cream man is still there to give all these youngsters.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing about
cream.
The Repeachies. Steve and Tammy down there at the Repeachy ice stand. I haven't seen them as much as I normally do this year, but the ones that I have had,
delicious.
Absolutely.
And Ford fighting back. I believe he might have gotten back around 43 of Timothy Scott. No, there's Scott right there, but he's got 2 other riders there. He was fighting them off. This is like a Bruce Lee movie. They're just coming at him left and right. There's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sitting in a chair. He just smacked the kid. Jeez.
Come on, Kareem. Man, these kids are pushing to this final moto today. They're all digging deep. I mean, looking at those deficits right there. I mean, we see a 12.5 second between first and second, another 10 seconds back to third, but third, fourth, fifth, sixth place right there, nose to tail as they came through the finish line and trying to get it sorted out here on lap number 6.
Just letting this one breathe here, watching these kids do work. One little dude just hucked that whole little camel back there, no sweating. That's still at 53. You know, is that Timothy Scott or is that Elliott Bosher?
I think that might be Bosher.
Okay. Your eyes are better than ours, man. You're going to be the spotter. Say it.
I think that's the 43
Is it the 40?
of Timothy Scott, I do believe.
So these not pulling away from Schneider or Ford or Bosher. They are right there with him.
Yeah, that shot there likely. The 73, the 43.
The number 3, the 113, 233.
Now we're going to be looking at the 53 of Elliott Boucher.
There you go.
Yeah, Elliott has had to work his way to get to that point.
Thought that's who we were watching there.
So Boucher now on the move. He goes way up there to third. Jumps right up onto that podium. And Boucher starting to climb into that top 3 overall. And he is third place overall. Elliott Boucher, excuse me. B-O-W, like a bow, Bosher. Only makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
But again, if you say it 3 or 4 different ways, every now and again, you sound like you know what you're talking about.
Or if you miss it every time, then you really sound dumb.
You really sound dumb. I want to sound kind of dumb. Not all the way dumb.
Nearly 5 minutes only left in this one, so leader due in about a minute. So we may be getting close to 2 lap card.
Yep, comes out at with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Is that right?
Yeah.
Remaining time.
This next time around, leader not due in for a few more seconds here. So
2 lap board. set to come out at this point in the race. When our leader comes through, he will bring it out. He actually has the 2-lap board with him. He shows it to all the riders, tells them all, you have 2 laps now.
Catch me if you can.
Good luck.
And Timothy Scott on the 43 is able to make it around the 53 of Elliott Bowser for 3rd position.
So they're going back and forth on that one. Bowser working his way up through, and Bowser.
We're going to get a text on that one. You're going to get a phone call. You're going to get an email, a message. You're going to get it.
I hope so.
Let me know how it is.
Either way, it ain't
Send
taken
all your
from
emails
his-
to Rodney Tomlin. Sorry. What's your email address, Rodney?
At
Let's go ahead and give
gmail.com.
that. Rodney Tomlin at gmail.com. Complaint department. Send all those to him. Any mispronunciations are attributed to Rodney Tomlin. Scott Sepkovic, thanks for the Arma. It's delicious. You guys getting set to roll out. How much longer are you guys here? He's here till tomorrow, so. That's right. The game doesn't stop.
So we are on the 2-lap to go here. So Timmerman through. Vic is through in 2nd. Vic is, again, another rider that's kind of been overshadowed by the fact that he's had such huge success here in this 3rd and final moto. He's got a 10-second lead. He's kind of hung out in the middle there, 16, 17 seconds behind Timmerman right now. All the action we've been watching has been between basically the last few laps, that battle for 3rd, Timothy Scott, Elliott Bowser. Now Tace Morgan coming up into it on the number 80 and 5th. Travis Snyder in 6th. Nolan Ford now has dropped back to 7th place. Colt Martin in the number 8 spot. Brody Moss in 9th. And Gage Brown rounds out your top 10.
As we take a look back at Maddox Timmerman in the number 1 position on the number 50
so much.
Husqvarna.
Appreciate it.
And Maddox Timmerman looking to be your overall class champion here in the 65cc 10 to 11 if he can just hold on for a few more minutes.
Yeah, listen to these moto scores. A 151. So he had that 5th right in between a pair of 1s. Then 4.37 for Nolan Ford, 2.10.4 for Elliott Bowser, 6.112 for Braxton Meese, and Brody Moss with 7, 4, and 9 scores. That's your top 5. So all over the place here, like the stock market here, some of those highs and lows.
Wow. So what do you think it's got to feel like for Maddox Timmerman right now?
It's going to feel great. He's going to get that white flag, and he is all smiles, man. The championship, a national championship.
Yeah. And I'm sure that 2nd moto, you know, he got that 5th place position finish, and I'm sure that was a little bit deflating and
probably made him nervous, like, huh. But if you go back through the annals of history here and look at all the different scores, you can pull it off. You can look at the scores and don't give up.
Yeah.
I've seen some 7th and 8s and a pair of 1s come back and win a championship.
Yeah, you never can count yourself out. It's the 3rd and final moto that really tells the tale of it all here at Loretta Lynn.
And there is your leader on the number 50, the red gear, the white bike. It's going to be Maddox Timmerman, not flirting with any of those inside lines, those big deep ruts, at least on that big sweeper. We've seen a lot of guys go down in that left-hander just before where Maddox was. Through the 10 commandments, double, no trouble there. Hits that single on the way out.
Relatively smooth inside line coming out there.
It really was.
Maddox Timmerman on his way through Storyland one final time here at Loretta Lynn's, the 65cc 10 and 11-year-old class rider, 11 years old. So this
probably his last hurrah on the 65. Maybe he'll play around at Mini O's coming up on that 65 before he jumps on the 85 full time. He might already have one back at the house. A lot of times that's what happens.
Yeah.
Playing around on it back home. Well, he's a big kid. He's ready for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking at his size, you can tell likely ready for it. And riders
probably locally races. A lot of those kids do that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So Timmerman got about 30 seconds worth of work. Jackie Legs, you impressed with this kid?
Very impressed with him.
You better say that. His dad's listening, man.
You can tell he's been putting in the work. He's been getting through these ruts very smoothly.
Actually, they just bought that bike. He's never raced. And he said, I'm going to try it out, see what happens.
I might like this, Dad.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Rodney, take us home here. We got a national champion to crown.
One final way through the finish line and another national champion crowned. Your 65cc 10 and 11-year-old Monster Energy AM8 national champion will be Maddox Timmerman with a 151. Nolan Ford looking at second overall as he will take a 6th place position finish, it looks like here. But Jackson Vick is looking to take the Moto Silver here on board the number 70, and Timothy Scott and Elliott Boucher still looking to get this one sorted out at the finish line. Vick is through for the silver, and the 53 of Boucher taking the spot.
And real quick, we're going to hand the mic off to our buddy Scott Sepkovic. He is here. He just got you all hydrated up. Rodney, the Arma, treating you well. Scott, thanks for coming up to the towel, hooking it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. And I just wanted to
Hang on just a second.
Try this one then. That way you can hear us better.
Yeah, guys, I just want to say thanks for having us here again, Arma, and just want to say thanks to everybody here. Hope all of you had a great time and everybody achieved the goals they were looking for. Hopefully, Arma was a part of that. Our goal is to ensure that we can help you perform at the highest level. And when we formulate this stuff, you know, we formulate for performance, not profits first. You know, we believe the profits will come as our product helps you perform at the highest level. You know, Jeremy McGrath was very adamant when he got involved with me in this project that he wanted to really make a difference with people's ability to perform at the highest level. So I'm grateful to Jeremy, also Chad Reed, who's been a big part of this as well, and Nick Way, and Adam Cincerilla also, all a big part of the company. But most importantly, you know, it is something that we enjoy doing to not only help people perform as athletes, but also something just in your day-to-day life, which, you know, especially with our Hydrate, which, you know, has 8 bioavailable electrolytes and helps you hydrate. You know, you wake up every morning dehydrated. So, you know, we try to ensure that you can hydrate your body and we don't pump a ton of sugar in you. But, you know, it's also tastes great and works well.
Absolutely. I'm shocked. You know, as you said, what is it, like less than 3 grams of sugar or something like that? And I was really surprised at how sweet it is. I mean, it's almost Kool-Aid-ish. It's so sweet.
Yeah, well, we you know, we also use you know, sweetener monk fruit that also helps with the sweetener, and you know, yeah, 3 grams, less than 3 grams of sugar, and most importantly, you know, it's dextrose, which is the same as glucose, that delivers it to your muscles instantaneously. And we also have bioperine, which is black pepper extract, helps your body absorb those nutrients, but it's 8 bioavailable electrolytes. I know that's a lot of information, but you know, people don't understand that you know, Powerade has 34 grams of sugar, Gatorade 32, even Body Armor has 22 grams of sugar. So, you know, sugar can also, you know, gives you a spike and then a crash. So it's important you just, you know, especially as you're doing something athletic, that you understand what you're consuming. And, you know, there's a lot of great tasty beverages like Monster that's good tasting, but you want to make sure that you understand what you're drinking and what that moment is and the time and what it's used for. So
absolutely.
But we're yeah, grateful and happy to be here.
Yeah, and there's science to the madness and the method, I guess you could say. It's not just like, hey, we're looking for good things, and we're looking for Jason Wygant with a champion on the podium.
I had a great joke there, Rodney, but it's gone now because I didn't have my RF on. Okay, let's bring our 3rd place finisher up here. Let's hear it for Elliott Boucher. Come out front, Elliott. Well, you got 3rd, I think, in the last lap there. Take me through that.
I got off to an okay start, and I got passed on the first lap, and I started pushing as hard as I could and got passed on the last lap, and so I made the pass back and got it.
Nice, right down to the wire. Who do you want to thank? It's been a solid week, a lot of podiums for you.
I'd like to thank the good Lord Jesus Christ for keeping me safe, my mom, my dad, Real Deal Max Training Facility, Farm 14, Miss Sherry for kicking our butts in the gym, Dunlop, my grandma and grandpa, FXR, 100%, 6D, and everyone else I forgot. Thank you so much.
Elliott Boucher, everybody. That is 3rd. Looking for Jackson Vick, who I believe finished up in the number 2 position. Thank you, Elliott. Let's try to get this real quick right here in the middle. First of all, I just want to let you thank people before I lose my microphone. Go ahead.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, Jesus Christ for keeping me safe. Matt Cleveland, my trainer, Quicks Motor Ranch, JK Cycles, JG Vic Consulting, Answer Racing, Rooster Max, ODI Grid.
Tell me about that moto.
I got off to like a 5th place start, and then in the second corner, everyone bunched up to the outside, and I took the inside and made a couple passes. And me and Nolan were having a good battle, and I got him at the end, or the beginning.
All right. Let's hear it for Jack. First of all, who do you want to thank before I run out of microphone?
My mom, my dad, my grandpa Ryder, my mechanic, Fox, Husky, FMF, Dunlop, DRS.
Go ahead.
Husky, and everyone else I forgot, thank you.
Let's tell about that moto. A little bit of pressure there. Did you feel some pressure there, or were you good?
Yeah, I felt a lot of pressure, just waiting.
Everybody put your hands together. Let's hear it for our champion. We'll bring the #1 plate to the stage, Maddox Temer. Yeah, Maddox. Maddox.